Show. Turn up your mind.
They give us the bare minimum notice for hearings. No subject indicated. We learn who the hearing witnesses is from British tabloids. That's not normal in the House of Representatives. One must wonder, are Republicans scared of giving us the information so that we can do our own due diligence on these conspiracy theories, these ideas that they want to put forward? Indeed, today's hearing will be more of the same. Perhaps they're too far gone to realize that, in fact, this hearing is evidence, as if we needed any more, that MAGA Republicans are a threat to the rule of law in America. Less than 2 months ago, former President Trump, facing mounting investigations into his many alleged crimes, declared that, quote, Republicans in Congress should defund the DOJ and the FBI until they can come to their senses. And we all know that when Trump says jump, the Republicans in the House say, how high? So here we are, on Police Week, watching House Republicans jump to lay the foundation to defund law enforcement. My colleagues on the far right are on a mission to attack, discredit, and ultimately dismantle the FBI. This is defund the police on steroids. As part of their mission, my colleagues have brought in these former agents, men who lost their security clearances because they were a threat to our national security, who, out of malice or ignorance or both, have put partisan agenda above the oath they swore to serve this country and protect its national security.
So that was Stacey Plaskett's opening statement. That was just the opening statement so that everybody would understand that.
Shots fired. That was scathing. That was amazing.
Because everybody sees what they're doing. This is what Jim Jordan's Weaponization of Government committee is doing. It's weaponizing the government against government. And he's wielding this gavel as if it's a shotgun, okay? And he's threatening everybody with it, which we all knew he would do because he's been chomping at the bit to do this. He sits next to Darrell Issa, who did it with Benghazi, okay? It's who they are. It's what they do because they don't want to govern. They don't give a rat's ass about your lot in life. They don't care about your grocery prices. They certainly don't care about the air you breathe. They certainly don't care about food, eating at all. They want to put work requirements on people that already work to get $30 a week in food stamps. I mean, they are some sick, toxic people. But that was her opening statement because the witnesses that were sitting before her and the rest of the committee had given testimony to the Republican side of the Weaponization Committee. But the Republican side didn't share any of it with the Democrats. In fact, they didn't even give them notice of who these people were going to be. The Democrats on the committee that Jim Jordan is chairing found out who the witnesses would be in a British tabloid. And they were told nothing about the testimony that they had previously given. Dan Goldman, who I think you'll remember from the impeachment hearings, he was, an impeachment manager, who I think he's heir to the Levi's fortune. This guy does not need to be a member of the House of Representatives at all, okay? He's totally got a law degree. He's a brilliant guy. He's not a bad-looking guy. He's got an above-average dancing skill. Do you know what I'm saying? He doesn't need any of this. But he ran for Congress after the impeachment because the stuff that he was finding out was so hair-raising that he understood all hands on deck. So he ran for a congressional seat out of New York where he lives. And I'm sure you've seen, remember when we were in pandemic mode and everybody was zooming in and we were rating everybody's space? Dan Goldman's apartment in New York, spectacular. All white. Everything's white. White carpet, white walls, white couches, oh, my God. Anyway, he ran, he won. He's now on the Judiciary Committee. He actually understood something about these guys enough to ask a couple of good questions about how in the world are you here? Like, who's footing the bill for this? You lost your jobs, right? So who's paying you?
We established earlier credibility matters, certainly for witnesses who appear before us. Mr. Boyle, do you know who Kash Patel is?
I do.
Have you received any money from Kash Patel or his organization?
I have.
When you previously met with the majority members and/or majority staff of this committee, was Kash Patel present for that meeting?
No.
To your knowledge, has Kash Patel ever spoken to the committee members on your behalf?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of. Was anyone present for your previous meetings with committee members and staff on the majority that were not members of this committee or staff of this committee?
My counsel.
Your counsel? Anyone else?
I don't think so. No.
Is Kash Patel helping you finance your counsel?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Mr. Friend, what about you? Do you know Kash Patel as well?
Yes.
And did you receive any money from Kash Patel?
Yes, he gave me a donation last November.
A donation?
Yes.
Are you a charitable organization?
I was an unpaid, indefinitely suspended man trying to feed his family, and he reached out to me and said he wanted to give me a donation.
Did he have any, was he present for any of your meetings with committee members or staff?
No.
And how many times did you meet with the committee members or staff prior to your transcribed interview?
I never met with them prior to my transcript.
Did you speak to them on the phone?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so you spoke to them on the phone?
Yes, I spoke to them on the phone, corresponded.
Did you provide documents?
Yes, I gave them my written declaration.
Did they ask you whether they could share that with the minority?
I don't know. At the time, I don't believe they were actually in the majority.
Did they ask you whether they could share the documents?
I don't remember if they did or didn't.
Okay, so it's not important to him whether or not the documents that he submitted to the Republican side of the aisle are shared with others. Wasn't important to him, okay? He did take money from Kash Patel. So did the O'Boyle guy. They took money from Kash Patel. And their big excuse is, well, we couldn't work. You know, we were fired a year ago. And so, you know, we needed money. Really? Drive an Uber.